What's good, everybody? We got 4 days, 4 days until kickoff, man. We getting closer. Listen, do me a favor, hit that like button, click it, tap it, hit it, punch it, whatever you gotta do. Knock that out, and then also hit the subscribe button. We're still going for 40K. Listen, every subscribe person that subscribes gets us closer and closer. So make sure you do that. Now, listen, I'm going to jump immediately into my number fours. This was another really, really good one. And so we're going to see what y'all think, man. I went back and forth about this one, but I decided for my 1A, I went on ahead and went with Santonio Holmes, man. I went with Santonio Holmes. Out of our receivers, like our great line of receivers, yes, he's respected, but I don't think he's talked about enough. I mean, he was super smooth. I mean, smooth, and his speed was very, how can I put it? He wasn't talked about enough for his speed. He was plenty fast and just smooth. One of the smoothest receivers we've had. He's made some big plays. He's clutch. I don't remember him dropping too many balls. And then, of course, he was a Super Bowl MVP. You know what I'm saying? So I love Santonio Holmes, man. Great, great player for Ohio State and brought some great memories. All right. So for my 1B, I went with Ohio State wins. Curtis Samuel. This picture right here, you talk about my man cave. Y'all see my wall, right? I got the gray with the helmet stripe. My man cave is still kind of new, and I need to put some stuff up. And so I've been like, okay, what am I going to fill my walls up with? This might have to be one of the class. This pick is classic. Look at this, arms spread out. You could just hear your boy, who was it? It wasn't Musburger. Who was it? Nevada will tell me. You know, I can't remember. Reese, I think it was Reese Davis. One of them folk. Ohio State wins. Like, bro, had to go with Curtis Samuel. Really, really good player. Iconic play right here. His run on third and long put us in position for Michigan to whine and cry, even to this day, about JT supposedly being short. Curtis Samuel, man, clutch player, heck of an athlete out of Brooklyn Zoo. All right, so my 1C, I had to pull out the homie Kurt Coleman, man. Kurt Coleman, I used to love Kurt Coleman. Solid safety here at Ohio State. He'll hit you. He didn't get burnt. I mean, he was just solid and steady as they come. And he had a really good NFL career, almost 10 years of in the league. So he's one of those guys that don't get talked about enough as just a really, really good player. And, you know, good human being off the field too. And then lastly, for my honorable mention, I decided I'm going to show C.J. Barnett some love, man. I'm showing C.J. Barnett some love because, for one, here's his picture with his uni, okay? All right, he was a solid safety, started at safety here, okay? So he was not a bum at all. He had an interception against the team up north to seal the win here at home. And so not too many players can say they had an interception against the team up north. He's currently with the staff right now. He's the energy guy. I mean, he's the we got a black stripe alert guy. I mean, energy, you know, the guys respect him, love him. I love his energy, man. And so I appreciate you, CJ, for just doing what you do, rocking with the team right now and bringing the energy that you bring. So I wanted to show you some honorable mention love, brother, for the number 4s today. So before I bring in Nevada, remember our super chats help to go to the Pay It Forward military. First responders, we're going to take care of them because they take care of us. Nevada, what's your thoughts, man, on my number 4 list?
Well, some great number 4s there. I mean, Santonio Holmes, remember the recruitment well. A guy that I believe, like that at the time, you know, this is when Miami and Florida State were really going. And I think they all passed on him. I don't think any of them offered Santonio Holmes. And we got him, and people were kind of like, oh, well, we got this guy that none of those guys wanted. And as you mentioned, turned out to be a pretty fair wide receiver. They Super Bowl MVP, and you know, one of the great tandems there with Teddy Ginn, and just, I mean, used to love to see him back on punts. They used to do the dual punt returner thing with him and Teddy Ginn, which I don't know why we don't do. I still to this day do not understand why we don't put two punt returners back. I think that is just dumb, especially with these rugby kicks that are bouncing and stuff like that. But I digress. I mean, Santonio, just a terrific player from the muck, and you know, again, just a cautionary tale on recruiting. Don't ever get caught up too much in the recruiting rankings or who offered or whatever it is, because when Ohio State's offering, there's generally a pretty good reason for it. On that one, Curtis Samuel, yeah, the third down play doesn't get talked about nearly enough because that was almost a freaking disaster because
Yes.
he was back. I mean, I want to say he was back on like the 30 something yard line when he reversed field and started coming back around the other side. And if he gets tackled back there, what
It's over.
we're kicking like a 50-yard field goal or something like that. I'm not optimistic at that point. Instead, yeah, we get the J. I can't believe that JT Barrett thing is even controversial. It's pretty obvious to me that he made the line.
It's
Um,
ridiculous.
yeah, but silly Wolverine tears. But yeah, Curtis Samuel, great player, continuing, terrific career in the NFL. Been playing a long time. Kurt Coleman might have been a better pro than he was a college player.
Yeah.
Really good, solid college player, but went on to have just a terrific NFL career. Long time guy. Really versatile guy. Could play special teams. Could play defense. Could play really anywhere in the defensive backfield for you. Terrific Buckeye. And then CJ Barnett. Look, if nothing else, for that one interception, he gets on the list. But yeah, no, he is the energy guy. He's a guy that's bringing the heat with the players right now. The players love him, and I love those ex players that come back and get on the staff. I mean, Ohio State's got a lot of them. It used to be, we didn't really have many of them, and now you've got Hartline, you've got Tim Walton, you've got James Laurinaitis. You know what I'm saying? Like you're bringing guys that really understand it all. And CJ is another guy that really understands it, really gets the rivalry, really gets what it's to be a Buckeye. And I think that's a perfect honorable mention pick.
Thank you, sir. And for the kids out there, I wasn't gonna go without showing the man JJ. This young man is on his way to ascending to the top of the number 4 list. I didn't put him on there because he's still, still playing and all that. But I'm going to show the pick because this monster deserves at least to be on the screen with JJ Smith. Cannot wait to see him this Saturday versus Texas in the shoe. So yeah, man. Speaking of the shoe, oh boy, looks like somebody is not going to be inside the shoe, and I am very happy about it. And we're going to talk about that. So Nevada, that's been the buzz all day, man. We can just get right into it. What were your initial thoughts? Because as things came out, you know how it goes these days, y'all. People report stuff and it's just not vetted, and then it turns into this and that, and then blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of basically what happened today. But Nevada, let's jump right in. What was your thoughts on the whole Dave Portnoy is banned? Ohio State has banned Dave Portnoy.
Well, look, it just it's you make an excellent point. It's kind of like the fog of war. Whenever you get the early reports and battles, that invariably turn out to be wrong.
Yeah.
And this story came out, didn't make any sense to me. But this is the problem. You have people out there. Austin Ward went with this story, and he went out there and he was very proud. And then Bobby Carpenter went out, and those guys, they're nice guys and whatever, but like you gotta get this one right, because I feel like this one's kind of done damage because the story's just not true. So I'll cut right to the chase. Dave Portnoy hasn't been banned from the stadium. He was never banned from the stadium. It was a production decision by Fox regarding they never bring like the guest, the additional host people on the set on the Fox inside the stadium, and that's not what they're doing this week as well. And so he wasn't banned. This was not an Ohio State thing. Um, but you get the usual screaming. When this came out, you'll see 500 articles about it. You'll see Dave Portnoy talking about how Ohio State fans need to toughen up and this stuff. The irony of that coming from him. I'm 62 years old. Okay, I'm 60 years old, and I would go out and I would whip Dave Portnoy's ass tomorrow without training. I would go out there and I'd put up 100,000 of my own money, and he can go up there. We'll go. We'll do an MMA match, and it's like I'm 62, and the Dave Portnoy is not a tough guy, but for him to be talking about it, it's unintentionally hilarious when I hear him talking about how tough he is and how tough the people got to be and how tough Michigan is, and then this is just a sign of how soft Ohio State. It was a non-story, a story with no basis in truth, a story started, in my opinion, irresponsibly by people because it's one thing to speculate on who's going to be the left tackle or who's going to be the punter or whatever it is. But when you talk about something like this, I just don't think I think there's got to be some I mean at least do your research. Be a little bit more careful with this. Do your research on this and try to get it right. And because the story there's it was just not true. I mean, and I talked to the Fox guys, wasn't true from their perspective. I mean, he was never going to be. He's not banned for the stadium. He just wasn't going to be part of the Fox crew on the inside, and he was never going to be. He's going to be their little stooge on the outside. Now, we can sit here and debate whether it was a good decision by Fox to hire him. I mean, clearly, what Fox is doing is ESPN's had some success with their Pat McAfee thing. And so Fox is trying to bring in their edgy, youthful kind of guy that they can, bring it in to try to get that audience, whatever that audience is. To me, it's lowest common denominator, but whatever, that's the decision they made. But not having that clown on the inside, I wouldn't either. I mean, he's a clown, and so you keep the clowns outside with the circus, but you don't bring him on the inside of the stadium. So that was always what this was going to be. It was never a story, and I'm not even sure how this thing got legs in terms of doing it. And I think it was wrong that those guys went with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, Dave Portnoy. He's extremely unlikable. I mean, you talking about he's a talker. You know what I thought about? We're big Game of Thrones fans. The scene where the Hound is with Arya and they're in that little inn or whatever, and he's talking to the dude from the King's Guard. He says, "You're a talker." He's talking about us. You don't want to die over some chickens. He's like, somebody's gonna die over some chickens. And he was just calling dude a talker, like you're a talker, that's what Dave Portnoy is. He just runs his mouth. He trash talks. Listen, that's what Barstool does. I get it. That's their lane, whatever. But yeah, he's a clown's clown. I'm gonna get into more of why I say that and kind of point to the fact that listen, this dude has really ran his mouth so much that it's not even just about Ohio State for real. I mean, he's been you Google him, he's been banned from several things. He's been kicked out and banned and all this other stuff. Just his mouth and his actions. He is a certified clown. But I wanted to read this just for people who haven't been following the story. Ross Dellinger came out after the initial reports that were circulating that Ohio State supposedly banned him from the stadium. It says Ohio State did not issue a ban on Dave Portnoy. AD Ross Bjork tells Yahoo Sports. Bjork confirms that Fox decided Portnoy would not be on the main desk of Big Noon Kickoff, and those not on the desk do not normally appear on the field. These are Fox decisions, he emphasized. So that's the official report from Ross Dellinger to kind of correct that. And listen, that makes sense because he doesn't know ball. He just runs his mouth. What is he going to contribute to a football discussion in the stadium at halftime or whatever? I do think Bobby Carp made a good point because Nevada, you said, that it's their answer. It's their knee-jerk reaction answer to Pat McAfee, who has had success from a rating standpoint. And I'm not going to say I'm the biggest Pat McAfee fan, but at times he does entertain me. And the fact that he did play in the league and was a Pro Bowler, he actually played in the league. He has at least some insight of the game of football, what I'm saying, with all his antics. But Portnoy is not offering none of that. He's not offering no ball talk at all. So it's just like, it's I never got the hire. I mean, I got it. I understood it, but I didn't get why you would hire him. Like that ain't it. He ain't it. Now, I know you're just looking for clicks and ratings and eyeballs, but nah, man, you could have found somebody else for that. But yeah, I just wanted to show the people the official update because again, the initial report is what dominated everything. Of course, Portnoy, he gets off on that. He loves, and I wouldn't put it past. I know Ward and Carpenter were kind of alluding to the possibility of some things in the works on their pod. But I wouldn't put it past Portnoy and whoever behind the scenes to take it and just run with it to another level, to put this narrative out there that, oh, I'm the villain, the Buckeyes are soft, and I'm, all this other stuff. Like he gets off on that stuff. So anyway, Nevada, this dude, I have not been a Portnoy fan ever. He has always annoyed me, and so this right here is just par for the course for me.
Well, it's interesting because the Pat McAfee comparisons, like Pat McAfee. Well, I think he's kind of goofy and he does, whatever, but he's never mean spirited. You know what I'm saying? Like that. He's not.
Right.
I mean, Dave Portnoy, while I have to say I do respect his business acumen, because I think the fact that this guy started handing out, you know, free newspapers on the subway and grew it into something, I have mad respect for anybody who does that, because nobody gave it to him. He went out and worked hard for it. So that's the one good thing I put in his thing. But I mean, he's a bad person. I mean, he's not a good person. And
Yeah.
when you're not a good person, you're mean spirited, and you're such an open partisan for one team, and you to the point that you're not objective about anything, and you don't have insight. I just like I don't know what Fox thought they were getting out of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How is that a good hire? How is this going to work out well? How is he going to bring some unique perspective or something like that to Fox? And I just don't see it. So they've tried this stuff before and it didn't work, and they ran him off the network. And so I think this is another one of those things where it's going to be kind of a failed exercise, because I think he's just too polarizing. And no, you're right. He loved it when Austin Ward went with this fake rumor, and Bobby Carpenter kind of perpetuated it. He Portnoy leaned right into it. He
Mhm.
loved stuff like that. This stuff, man, this is like catnip for him, and he absolutely loved it. The problem was none of it was true. I mean, none of it was true at any point in time. So, for people, people were responding and getting upset and doing this and that. And I think it kind of feeds into this other current too of you've got Ross Bjork supervillain, where people love to hate on Ross Bjork. You know what I'm saying? Don't get a
Yeah.
recruit, hate Ross Bjork. Don't think Hang On Sloopy is the greatest anthem of all time. Hate on Ross Bjork. Don't think like this the band being moved from the south stand to the north stand. Hate on you know what I'm saying? It's so this is just another one where people are just like instinctively just kind of going, oh no, Ross Bjork banned him. How could he do it? And it's like, no, this is a Fox thing. They've never brought the clowns in from outside, into the stadium in terms of it. Because you're right. Because once you get in the stadium, it's about ball. It's
Yeah.
about what's going on in the game, doing your halftime analysis, doing your poking, whatever it is. It's not about the clown stuff. The clown stuff is beforehand. It's kicking field goals and putting on, Brutus's head and running around like a clown and doing whatever it is. That's not that thing's just that it doesn't have I mean, at least Fox has got enough, awareness to not do that in the stadium. But yeah, I thought this was podcast because it became a national story, and I don't think it's a great. Do I? But here, I'll be really honest. I don't care what other fan bases think about Ohio State, Ryan Day, Brutus, Will Howard, Jeremiah Smith, whomever. You know what I'm saying? We're the freaking defending national champions. What can you
Correct.
say? What can you say to us that's going to bring me down or make me a sad panda? Absolutely nothing. So I think it's kind of funny, seeing this kind of tempest in a teapot on a story that just had no validity whatsoever, but I just think kind of fed into a narrative that some people were just eager to embrace.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, I mean, even when this first came out, when the false narrative came out first, as far as what supposedly happened, you had some fans like, oh, well, this does look soft. And Michigan fans are saying we're soft. I'm just looking at them like, are you serious right now? Like, first of all, listen, Nevada, I said the same thing. I could care less what these clowns say, especially them, the cheaters of all cheaters. Like the ones who are parading around like they got a victory because the committee on infractions wanted to go rogue and to be charitable, show mercy to them when they deserved a 2-year bow ban according to their own bylaws. They look at that as being exonerated, but you look at the report and it's just ridiculous and heinous and disgusting, and just you should be ashamed. But yet you're running around as if you won some victory. No, you're a cheater. And the entire media, national media, whatever, regional media, all cried out and said, this is ridiculous, whatever. So we're looking at you like you're, first of all, there's nothing softer than having to launch a 3-year, multi-year scheme to cheat, to finally beat your rival. There's nothing more soft than that, sir, ma'am. So miss me with the soft stuff. All right. But even if Ohio State banned him, Nevada, I would not care, because when you really dig into Portnoy in his mouth, to me, he deserves it. Because, I mean, shoot, off the strength of this alone, look at this right here.
Your reaction to the reports that are out that maybe Ohio State, and you in particular, or maybe someone close to you, turned Michigan in?
Yeah, no comments. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the caption, this is a tweet from Dave Portnoy. It says, crying Ryan basically admitting he hired his brother to investigate Michigan because he can't beat Michigan. Okay, so he's trolling, whatever, but it goes deeper than that. You look into it and just go back and look at all Dave Portnoy. He was a steady part of the whole push for this Ryan Day's brother stuff, okay? The same stuff that got Ryan Day and his family harassed and death threats and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Portnoy, of the same dude who flew a plane over the stadium, talking about some extend Ryan Day, he's ridiculous. Like I said, he's a clown's clown. But specifically with this, like, nah, like you've gone too far. But also, this ain't just about Ohio State. So I'm not going to play this whole clip. It's too long from Intrinsic. It's about 2 minutes. But Ross Dellinger in this clip, and maybe I can play 30 seconds of it. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be here. But he's talking about how it's not just Ohio State. It's the Big Ten Conference. He was running his mouth about the commissioner in the Big Ten, really taking a lot of shots at them about the Connor Stallion stuff. I mean, he just runs his mouth. Okay, he goes too far. And so nobody wants him around in, their facilities, program, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's earned his reputation, and it's not just about Ohio State. So I'll stop right there for you to respond, because I got more.
Well, I mean, look, Ohio State's made some questionable decisions on who they invite in. I mean, they had Taylor Lewan, and who's
Yeah.
you want to talk about, nobody has been more profane and disgusting about Ohio State, about Ryan Day, about the entire program. They brought him in to do a one-on-one interview with Ryan Day. That was Jerry Emig. Jerry Emig, that clown SID at Ohio State, brought him in to do a thing. Like, what are we doing? I mean, what in the world are we doing? So I just think we just gotta, we're Ohio State sports. I know, that we're bigger than this stuff. I personally wouldn't have a problem, had they banned, I'd love it if they just bowed up to Fox and said, "Hey, you know something, Fox? No, you're not welcome, or we're just not going to do it, or whatever it is." But the bottom line is they didn't do it. Dave Portnoy, who's a curious choice for anything, is going to be their Fox mascot, or whatever he's going to do in terms of running around. But I don't think Ohio State has to embrace it. But I think for fans, man, like this soft thing. The soft Buckeyes ran through Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame on 4 consecutive weekends to win the
Right.
national championship. Yeah. So tell me about soft. So don't be insecure. So for Ohio State fans, man, I don't care what they say, but I do think words have consequences. And I think when a guy like Taylor Lewan goes off and does his thing, do I think he should be interviewing our head coach? No, I don't. I think that's a clown show move by Jerry Emig, not doing his homework in terms of who he's bringing in and what they're doing. And I think with Dave Portnoy, look, Fox can do what they want, but as Ohio State fans, we don't need to embrace it. And as Ohio State is an institution, we don't need to embrace it either, because, we're the Ohio State University, and we don't need to deal with that stuff. And I think that guy's trash, and I think we just ignore the trash.
Yeah, exactly. But again, ignore. But like you said, I could care less what Michigan fans say. Like listen, I was thinking to myself, Nevada, I had respect. Like I remember back the last Michigan team I had like some like healthy respect and fear for was back in 2006, the 1-2. Ever since then, obviously we were just destroying them, but it's just like the respect level for who they are, what they do is it's just not where it used to be. From their program to the fans, is all of this stuff that has transpired over the past few years with their program, just overall in general. And then you got your Portnoys leading the charge. It's like, man, man, look, I could care less what these fools say. Like you said, Nevada. And I try to encourage fans, like, who cares what they say? We just won a natty. We just won 4 straight games against top 10 teams. Top 10 teams. Like, and by double digits. What are you talking about? Like, just it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And real quick, I want to show my guy, official Ohio State DG on Twitter, his comment, because he retweeted the Dave Portnoy. He said, I can't imagine why Dave isn't getting the red carpet rollout in Columbus. Imagine your school cheats for years, then plays victim and falsely blames an innocent man's family. I remember when Business Insider would run illegitimate stories about Dave, and Dave would cry about Henry Blodgett. All right. So good point. And I also wanted to just once again, Nevada, bring up, I'm going to share this again, because Nevada, these people, these Michigan fans, these message board folks are still pushing this narrative heavy to this day. I don't know if you knew that. I'm sure you do. But still pushing this narrative that Ryan Day's brother, okay, and that, they were stealing signs. They were cleared by the NCAA months ago. This is a non-story. Ryan Day's brother had nothing to do with this. They still keep saying they got receipts and evidence, but yet no evidence has come out yet. Where it at, though? We waiting. We still waiting for the evidence. It's not there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just showing y'all again the nonsense of these narratives being pushed. And Dave Portnoy is one of those people who help push these narratives. So yeah, like get him up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, questionable hire by Fox. It's just like, man, who's your marketing team? Who's your talent, acquisition people? Like, come on, man. Like, you better off just finding some random podcaster who's loud and energetic, on YouTube over this dude. I know he's a millionaire. He got money, all the other stuff. But that was a terrible hire in the first place. You talking about not doing your research. Yeah, I mean, you might be mesmerized by the clicks potential and the fact that he brings attention because he's a professional troll and he knows how to get reactions. But come on, dog. He's no Pat McAfee.
Well, yeah, and as fans, like you said, I mean, what he covets more than anything is interaction and reactions and things like that. And the best thing Ohio State fans can do is just ignore it, just turn it off. You know what I'm saying? Just turn off the noise, don't listen to it. I mean, Michigan fans, they've destroyed any goodwill, any type of reputation that they had, any type of respect that anybody had for them as a program with this cheating. I mean, and it's just natural for them to try to paint themselves as the victim,
Right.
and anybody who can read that report and read just how bad this whole thing was, and this whole thing about Ryan Day's brother or this or that, man, I've said this and I've said it a million times, but who gives a rip? You know what I'm saying? Who gives a rip where it can't, what the world difference does it make who did what to you guys? You're the one that was cheating. You're
Right.
you're the one that was involved in the on-field cheating. And I just think forever you got to own that. And look, I always ask myself, how would I feel if it was Ohio State? If I found out that Ohio State was trying to hack the helmet communications and steal the thing, and we got busted in terms of doing it, man, the last thing I would ever do is defend that. I would not. I'd be ashamed.
Yeah.
I'd be ashamed. I'd be ashamed. I wouldn't think it was clever. I wouldn't think it was funny. I wouldn't think it was a 3% advantage or some sort of insignificant thing. I would think it was disgusting and desperate. And when it's laid out to the world, I wouldn't be defending it. But that's just kind of what they are. And so that's why, they used to talk, even when Jordan Hall was talking about, we don't like Michigan, but we respect them. Man, I lost any respect that I had for Michigan as an opponent, as an institution, as anything, all the way down from their corrupt president to their fat AD to their crooked coach, to their idiot players that all knew, everybody knew, Joey Velasquez, player number 175 on the team, knew about it. Jim McElwain, coach at other team, he knew about it. Jake Costner knew about it, but Jim Harbaugh didn't. So somehow Jim Harbaugh was the only guy in the entire city of Ann Arbor that wasn't aware of this massive cheating scandal going on right under his nose. The control freak, Jim Harbaugh, the guy that controls everything at that thing, wasn't aware of the biggest cheating scandal in the history of college football going on right under his thing. Yeah, not buying it, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, it's stupid, man. It's ridiculous. But again, still to this day, they're going to Michigan fans are rushing to social media pages, including mine, saying they don't care, but trying to defend, it's almost like the NCAA report doesn't exist. Like we can't all see the report. It's public, right? We've read the report. So you trying to explain this away as if you didn't cheat or deflect and say, well, what about last year? Well, we're not talking about 2024. We're talking about that 3-year cheating window. That's what's fraudulent. We don't respect that. The nation has spoken. We don't respect it. We don't recognize it. And so, but they keep trying to convince the Buckeye fans that it's legit. Well, you're never going to convince us because the report says otherwise. So, and if it wasn't a benefit, if it didn't give you an advantage, which clearly the report says it does, why would you go to great lengths to do what you did, Stallions and company, also to destroy evidence, throwing your phone and laptop or whatever in the bottom of a freaking pond, fighting the investigation? If it was not a big deal, if it was just, everybody still signs, why go to the lengths you did? So just putting that back out there because they still fighting and scratching and clawing. And again, you're not exonerated because the COI, let me remind people, the NCAA is not the Committee on Infractions. The NCAA said failure to monitor aggravated, repeat offender, 2-year bowl ban is the requirement for this according to our bylaws. Let's do a negotiated resolution and get up out of here. You're guilty. No, we'll go to full hearing. All right, cool. That's rare. That rarely ever happens. All right. And furthermore, speaking of rarely ever happens, what never has happened is a team getting failure to monitor aggravated and not getting the required multi-year bowl ban. That's never happened. But this Committee on Infractions decided to do that, and they put it out there that, we feel sorry for the current kids there. So we'll we got this scathing report saying there's all this evidence and, you were just cheating your arses off. But, we feel sorry for the current kids. So they feel that exonerated them. It did not. Okay, we all know you cheated. So there's that. Now, Portnoy, he's the mouthpiece of that fan base right now. And with all this, I could care less what they say. I do not care. I'm trying to kind of impart this into Buckeye Nation for those who care. Don't care. I don't care. Why would you respect anything they have to say, especially him? So with that said, I'm glad he won't be in the stadium. I don't care who did it, who enforced it, whatever. He doesn't belong. Even if he wasn't the loudmouth clown, he still doesn't belong because he doesn't know ball. And that's just it, Nevada.
Well, yeah, no, it's just kind of a silly thing, and he like I said, he's a clown. He's a clown, and he's a degenerate, and he's just not. I mean, like we can talk all we want about Pat McAfee, but Pat, at least he's funny.
He's funny.
He's clever. He's lighthearted, and I'd like his insights in terms of doing stuff. But while we're on the topic of Ross Bjork exoneration, because we've exonerated him on this rumor here today that we've come to him, I'm going to kill another one here while we're on the Ross Bjork thing.
All right.
The Ross Bjork's killing us on NIL. Ross Bjork won't let us spend any money and this and that.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, and we had a pretty good piece of information on that today. Ohio State is embracing the Nick Saban theory of let the dust settle, and then come in late with your final and best offer and try to spin some people. Saban did it for years. Saban took guys for years. Saban, his recruiting classes would be okay, and then at the end he'd come steaming in like a locomotive, and all of a sudden it's like bang, 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 and you're like, oh my gosh, Alabama's class just went from mid to out of this world. That's what Ohio State's done. So for all you fans complaining about NIL and about Ross Bjork is a big meanie and he won't let us spend money, they're pacing themselves, man. They're playing the long game on this stuff. They're in contact with a number of kids, and I'm telling you what's going to happen is Ohio State's going to close strong because Ohio State's been keeping their powder dry, keeping things there. They're going to be more educated about the players because they're going to have watched them their play their entire senior years and come in. So Ohio State is not putting their final best offers on thing. It's a long way until signing day. That's a change for Ohio State in terms of the way they've done business in the past. But all the fire that you people are doing for Ross Bjork, misguided. Watch how this class closes, and then you can come back and hold keep receipts on this one, and we'll check back on this.
Yeah, and listen, Ryan Day has been very open about basically mimicking the Saban Alabama model. With reloading on coaches and just the whole dynasty model. And so you can imagine, when they play golf together, some more talk they might have had. I mean, he's fully in, you could tell. So I can see that because one thing we know is that Ohio State has always figured it out. Have they not, Nevada? No matter what it is, the situation, the twist, the turn, the new curveball, they've always figured it out. We are the most consistent. Alabama and Ohio State, and Spiro has done this report, and he basically argued that Ohio State has been more consistent just as far as like being a consistent program. Obviously, Alabama and Saban have won more titles, but the consistency overall has been Ohio State. The point is, those are the top two schools with consistency. Ohio State they're gonna refuse to just fade back and just give in and nah, they're not just gonna sit back and just let stuff happen. So the fact that you're saying like, hey, you got info that's saying they have a plan to do this, it makes sense because the dust is still settling. Because right now it's a trust factor because she's like, dang, like with Walmack, like I love Walmack. I think he's a great kid, great culture fit. So I was a little disappointed. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? But a part of it is trusting, knowing that this football program is not going to not just do what they need to do to make sure they're getting what they need to get recruiting wise and just everything. So that makes sense. We're going to see, man. We're definitely going to see. And there's still a lot of question marks with this NIL stuff, man, and a lot of inconsistencies. And like, if y'all watched Dev last night, Devin Mello, he was dropping some nuggets talking about some of this stuff going on behind the scenes with recruiting and this, really low key illegal stuff. And so there's stuff Ohio State's not willing to match. But again, dust will continue to settle. And there's still a long way to December. There's a long season to play. And there's going to be some things that are going to be uncovered that I believe will allow us to open the door for guys that we may have missed on or didn't go all in on because Auburn or whatever school wanted to dump crazy amounts of money on them. We're going to see. I think that's good stuff, Nevada, because I do believe that Ohio State's not just going to sit back and just do nothing. Okay. I'm willing to bet there's a strategy whenever something's involved like this. And I agree, Nevada.
Well, I mean, look back on when NIL first came out and the collectives, and Ohio State seemed to be running kind of behind that at the time, and then they kind of figured it out, kind of jumped to the front of it, and with Saban going and with Alabama, not being Alabama, the way that where there was somebody was going to kind of ascend to the throne, and that somebody's Ohio State. We're the defending national champions. We're taking Caleb Downs, we're taking Julian Sain, we're modeling all their behavior, modeling their commitment to analysts and expanded staff, and they're modeling the way that Saban would close on this recruiting. I'm just telling you, they are taking a page out of that playbook in terms of doing it. And for Ohio State, as an Ohio State fan, you just have to ask yourself one of two questions: Is the brand broken at Ohio State, and is Ohio State broke? If you get no's on both those questions, then you know that there's another plan. There's a door three that they're going behind in terms of doing it.
Good.
I'm telling you,
Good.
this is door three because we ain't broke, and the brand, it's the strongest brand in all of college sports. So, with the biggest player, I mean, like, okay, well, if only you had the best defensive player in college football. Oh, well, we do. His name's Caleb Downs. Well, if you only have the best offensive player, well, we have him too. It's called J.J. Smith. I mean, like, guys, come on. Like, there is a plan. They are going to do it. And when you take a step back in terms of doing it, it makes sense. That approach makes sense as opposed to just willy-nilly just throwing highest and best offers out in July and August and June, and because they still have to be measured, they have to take on the impact of what it's going to have on their existing class. They can't do anything illegal because they want to be able to stay within the guidelines. When the inevitable guide rails get set up, Ohio State wants to be able to play within the lines. But they're going to be aggressive closing this class, and this class is going to look very different come ultimately on signing day as it does right now. Like I said, take that to the bank.
Yep, I agree. And then, I mean, listen, I love this class. I still,
I do. I do too, B. I do too, man.
I mean, this class,
I
we
do
got
too.
some dogs, and they keep showing improving. Like I said, we talked about this the other day with Wilder. To me, he's a prime example of a kid that's not labeled as some big shiny 5-star, but he's playing like it. He's proven us right. He's proven the evaluation right. And shout out to Dev again. He was talking about how right now we have a higher star rating than we did last year. You know what I'm saying? And so we loved our class last year, right? Listen, it's a long way to go. Do I want us to make sure we're doing everything we can do within the rules, within our means, whatever? Yes, I do. I have questions, but I'm also trusting for the reasons that we just stated that we're just not going to go away quietly and just not. No, I doubt that at all. But again, go look at this class, man. We got some certified dogs, and they just performed for us on a huge stage this past weekend. And I believe they're going to keep doing it and showing improving. So speaking of U stage, real quick, I see the comments. Look, I got YouTube TV too. Now I'll be at the Texas game, but I want to watch the rewatch. Get it together, man. Why isn't it crazy, Nevada, that conveniently the game of the week, it's always CBS and NBC or in a battle with DirecTV, or you're like, man, come on, get it together. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? It's annoying, Nevada.
But they will. They always do. I mean, this is something that'll get settled Friday night or something like that. It's just brinkmanship. They're taking it as far as they can because this is when they have leverage. This is when
Yeah.
there's outcry. This is one of the because once they sign the deal, then they lose the leverage. So I just think that they're going to try to get the best deal they possibly can. It'll go late in the game, and I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the game that goes before the game. But they'll announce some sort of an agreement Friday night at 8 p.m. while you're eating fried shrimp or something like that. And they'll be like, B. Moses, we're calling you to let you know if the game's on TV. And you're like, thank you, sir, but I'm going to be at the game tomorrow.
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes, I
Matter of
am.
fact, let me see. I've been obsessing over checking the weather just because it's so beautiful to look at. Now it says it actually keeps dropping. Now it says it's 69. Okay, 69 mostly sunny, high in the lower 70s. Highs in the
You
lower
you better
70s.
you better you better bundle up, man. You better like bring like an extra blanket or something like that. And B Moses is kind of a sensitive guy right there. You know what I'm saying? You get kind of cold, don't you?
I mean, I don't know if I get kind of cold. Well, put it like this: the Tennessee game, I think it depends on the situation. That Tennessee game was cold, right? Funky, you out there? It was freezing. Jim
It
Jackson,
was
we were together,
it
but
was freezing.
but it was. I didn't feel it because it was just so. It was so warm and fuzzy to see the Tennessee fans. I'm sorry, Sports Talk Jay. I love you, my brother, but it just the warmth of the Tennessee fans and their groans. It just the cold just went away. I couldn't feel it. So depends on the situation, I guess.
Yeah, no, that was next level. Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. I mean, I'm so excited about the game. Obviously been to hundreds of games, but this one just feels extra special. This one feels extra special
Yeah.
being, I mean, it's not hyperbole to say it's the biggest opener in the history of college football. I mean, a one versus two or three, whatever you want to call it. in the horseshoe as the defending national champion. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that. We're going to be out there early. My boys are dragging me out there because they want to see, like, I guess ESPN Game Day or whatever. I'm trying to explain to him that Corso's not going to put on the Buckeye head until, like, he does that, like, right before the game, right? Like
Yeah.
2 minutes before the game. And
Yeah.
2 minutes before the game, I'm not going to be outside watching him put the Buckeye head on. I'm
Right.
I'm
Right.
I'm gonna be working on my second hour inside the stadium because because once the thing opens, I go inside because I just like to I maximum maximize my time inside the stadium because that's just a very special place. And I don't care if it's just people running around out there or fat guys from Tennessee running out there in the cold without the shirts on. I want to see it all, man. I'm all about that.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Shout out to my wife. Hopefully she don't hear this, but she's like, "So what time we going now?" I was like, "Yeah, we need to leave here by at least 9:30." She's like, 9:30? I was like, "Yes, 9:30." The traffic, by the time we get down there, we could probably going to have to walk from the garage, depending on where we park. You know what I'm saying? Like it's she hasn't
Nine
been to a
thirty.
noon game.
9:30 is kind of late, to be honest with you. I mean,
Exactly. I agree. I actually agree with you on that.
I
So
mean, I'm telling you, I think that's a mistake, B. I think
you
that's a
think
mistake.
so?
I
You
think
think
I I
okay,
think it's
this
I think 9 o'clock at the late. I mean, 9 o'clock would be late. I think nine's late. I'm just telling you. I'm calling it right
okay.
now.
So
Yeah.
I'm projecting if I leave the crib at 9:30, it's about, I'll say, with the traffic, getting off at Lane Avenue, it's probably gonna be about 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes to actually park from that point. Then walking to the stadium. But at that point, it'll probably be, 10:45, close to 11, still an hour before kickoff. So yeah, I mean, I probably won't have a ton of time to stop by a tailgate or just do much, but I think that's
I mean,
enough time to get into the stadium.
you're a celebrity, man. People are going to be coming up to you and asking you for autographs, asking for pictures, signing your old stuff, number 40 out there from the high school. And so you're like the Al Bundy thing you're talking about when you scored 4 touchdowns in
Four
one game and stuff.
touchdowns, one
Four
game.
touchdowns for
Peg.
For Polk guy. So yeah, no, I think you gotta your newfound fame. You gotta count for that. I'm saying 9 o'clock. Don't leave 9:30. I'm 9 o'clock.
See, look, Dennis Moore in the chat. 9:30 is too late, BMO.
Exactly. It's too late. I'm telling you, it's too late.
Oh, he said people are eating dinner by 9:30 at the show.
Exactly. You're,
I'm gonna have to show the wife this
yeah,
this chat. Like, look at this.
yeah.
Um
9:30. 9:30. Like what are you talking
yeah,
about?
we might have to do 9 o'clock. But listen, I think we could we'll be in the stadium before noon if we leave at 9:30. It's just maybe, if I'm a celebrity, maybe I just have to, put some shades on and like like a
Yeah, yeah,
scarf or something.
yeah, exactly. Go incognito. You can wear a mask, man. You can wear a mask. You just tell them you're
Oh
afraid of
yeah,
COVID or something like that. You wear the mask.
that's a good point. Or
Yeah,
like what's the little thing? A little shiesty. The kids wear the little shiesties. Maybe I'll
yeah,
put one
yeah.
of those on.
Oh, that'd
I
be
don't
kind of
know,
cool.
but you got me thinking. I'm gonna holler at the wife. Like, look, man, you're gonna have to go to bed earlier that night. I know you don't want to wake up early,
Yeah,
but
9 o'clock.
we might have to get going. But we got one super chat here. Roll 410. Thanks for the 999. My Michigan friends send me Buckeye updates faster than Buckeye Scoop. I could never tell you what's going on with their program. They are obsessed with us. That is correct. They absolutely are. Nevada, what you got on that?
Yeah, no, it's funny. Well, they spend more time trying to convince us that we care about this Michigan, that we care so much about the Michigan game. And it was funny. I was talking with one of my kids today, and he's like, "Dad, if you told me we'd get one national championship every 10 years, but we had to lose every year to Michigan. Like we had to lose every single year to Michigan. I'll take that. I'll take losing every year to Michigan, but you got to guarantee me we win a national championship once every 10 years. And I'm like, I'd probably take that too. That's how unimportant that game is to me. I mean, it's like when I'm a Packers fan. When the Packers won, they won as the wild card team. Do I care that they lost to the Bears that season or to Seattle or something? Like, who cares? They got the Super Bowl trophy, man. It's like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, they do spend a lot of time trying to convince us that we care. And here's a spoiler: we really truly don't.
Yeah, I mean, and again, they try to convince us again right now, currently, that either their cheating didn't matter or they really didn't cheat. I mean, it's just either way, either take is ridiculous and it's just dumb. And again, like me personally, you're never going to find me on Michigan pages commenting and going back and forth. I don't do that. I don't stop on Michigan pages and go back and forth with them. So to me, it's weird to me that so many Michigan fans come on Buckeye pages and troll and go back and forth and become. I got several Michigan top fans. You know, on Facebook, it's you can earn top fan status. I got Michigan top fans like galore. They talking about we're obsessed with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's hilarious. You're right, Ro. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, one day closer to the game. Very, very, very excited. I get, your kids wanting to go to the game day. This is Corso's last one. Maybe they can go down there in the atmosphere and then come up into the stadium and just watch the rest on TV.
That's the move. That's
Yeah, I
absolutely,
think that's the move too, for sure. Because they're going to be upset if they miss the opening kickoff because they're down there trying to see it in person. That don't make sense.
Yeah, it's so and again, look, you can watch it on YouTube or you can watch it I mean, look, there's a million ways that we can relive that moment. I don't care that much. I'm there for the game. Like I said, I'm literally going to be in the stadium 2 hours before the game. I will be in. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. While you're still at home, BMO's like you're getting the car out, you're pulling the Prius out of the driveway or something
The
like that, and kind of
Prius.
backing it up. That I'm going to be inside the stadium eating a chili cheese dog or something like that, and thinking of you, man. I mean, you're like, man, I wonder what B Moses is doing, and you're like,
Listen,
oh man,
I could not
the
physically fit into a Prius. Let alone that is hilarious. I thought about the movie The Other Guys. You've seen that movie before
I
with Will
have,
Ferrell. You haven't, or
yes,
you have?
I have, yes,
Are you okay? Remember the Prius, the whole Prius bit?
yeah.
It's hilarious. But it's funny. Before we close out, this is hilarious. I'm definitely showing the wife these comments. Barb, she said, "People are buzzed by 9. What are you thinking?" And then there's another follow up from AKA Mr. Lance. 9:30 your time. I'll be 3 mimosas in by that time.
I mean,
Let
come
me
on,
see.
man. Yeah. I mean, 9:30. What type of amateur fan are you?
Tell the wife 8:30 mimosas, then you will be good by 9.
That's true.
Oh man, this is funny. Yeah, I'm definitely showing this. Like, look, they clowning. We gotta leave early. We gotta show. We gotta prove them wrong.
Exactly. 9:30. Oh, I mean, I couldn't believe you said that. When I heard that, when you heard that, I was like, "What? Did you just say
Listen,
9:30? What's he talking about?"
I guess I like to live dangerously, but listen,
Yeah, no
I'm
kidding.
still salty that this is not a 3:30 or a night game. Like, I'm really irritated by that because
Well, I think leaving at 9:30 for a 3:30 game is totally appropriate. I have no problem with that at all. I think that would be that's like, yeah, I mean, that's what people do. But 9:30 for a noon? Like, B Moses, what are you talking about, man?
oh yeah, Stilly. I've met Stilly in person. He knows I ain't fitting in no Prius. That ain't happening. That is hilarious. Like, bruh, you
Uh,
where'd you pull that out? He said a Prius.
honey, did you charge up the Prius last night? No, Prius.
Oh, sweet
Uh,
Jesus, man. All right. I'm reevaluating my entire life right now.
okay,
All
yeah,
right,
this is
so
crazy.
I gotta huddle back up and say, listen, let's do 9:20 instead. I'm joking. I'm joking, y'all. But yeah, but anyway, listen, another great show. One step closer. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Wednesday? Yeah, that's right. I'm losing track. It's game days approaching. Listen, we're gonna have fun tomorrow. We'll be one day closer. There'll be more buzz and more rumors and more goofy stuff to dissect and more stuff, interviews and Colin Simmons will say he didn't put a target on saying there's gonna be more stuff to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it. You got any last words before we hop off, Nevada?
Yeah, no, it's 3 days. I'm waiting and eagerly awaiting your threes too.
Yeah,
We're getting into the good numbers. 3, 2, 1, man. Those are some good numbers there.
absolutely it is. Real quick, chorus. B. Moses might have an end for your song. My son was a music major, knows the director of the marching band. Make it
Oh,
happen. Make it happen, Cars. Let's do it. Nevada had me bumping. I was washing the dishes after the pod last night. I was, like, let me get these dishes all dirtied up, clean. And he sent me the YouTube link of the Play That Funky Music White Boy. Listen, I've heard the song tons of times, but I was listening to the dum, 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 dum at the beginning, like, because he just kept doing it. I was like, man, he right, though. I was like, he right. You know what I'm saying?
So recognizable. You hear that you're scrubbing the dishes, like, don't you start dancing, do a little dancing.
I was like, man, he's got a point, man. We might have to do that for real. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what the reaction is to this first game day scene upgrade, and then maybe we can get some petitions to play the Funky Music White Boy in the stadium per Nevada's request or suggestion. So there you have it. All right, great fun. What's up, Jim Jackson? What's up, brother? Everybody in the chat, love y'all. We're gonna see y'all tomorrow. Go Bucks and peace.